Welcome everybody to number 33 already. Tonight we'll be talking about the 4 Solle signature drinks. A lot of people this time of year are wanting to start to, all of a sudden make these amazing changes. They put in their New Year's resolutions, and my goal is always to help people succeed. And sometimes simple and easy is a better way to start. So that's what we're going to be looking at tonight. So as those of you who know me know that I love to empower people through education to take charge of their health. And with that, we're going to jump right in and see how we can get this new year off and running. We're going to listen to hear a few words from Sam.
Hi all, Samantha Post here. Just want to take a second and share with you my favorite way to drink the 4 drinks that Solle has. A lot of times throughout I think it's been 2 years now, actually. It'll be 3 years in June that I've been taking Solle products. My body has only requested, 1 or 2 of the colors, or maybe 2 or 3, but not always all 4. But I will tell you, my absolute favorite way, even if my body is not requesting all of them, is to mix them all 4 together. I love the taste of it, and it has a fun little trademark. It's called a Solle Bomb. And literally just taking the packages, opening all 4 of them up, dumping them into a shaker bottle, giving it a nice shake. The only thing I would not recommend doing is when you're traveling, and of course taking your adaptogens with you, standing in the airport bathroom and making an announcement that it's okay, you're going to be just fine, you've got all the energy that you need, because you're mixing up a Solle Bomb. Because saying Solle Bomb in the airport probably won't serve you so well. So, be mindful about how you're using the verbiage and where you're saying it at, but truly that is what it is. It's like a bomb for your system. It will go in and help in any and all areas that's needed, cleaning it out, refreshing it. It's fantastic. Use it. Try it.
I am so glad that Sam shared that story, because she literally did that. She was on the phone talking to one of her kids in the airport before she caught a flight. And she realized after she'd said that how people were looking at her, and it was such a normal thing in conversation. It just cracks us up. So great story. Thank you, Sam, for sharing. So I wanted to start off saying, you know what? My word of the year, I think, for 2020, and it will continue through 2021, is adaptogens. And guys, if you don't know, if you're new to Solle or have no clue what we're talking about, adaptogens are the plant family that is in these products. Every one of our Solle products has an adaptogen in it, which helps our body to normalize itself whenever it's presented with stress. We all know that 2020 was a challenging year in so many different ways. And and now that we're in 2021, we really don't know what lies ahead. But that's the neat thing with adaptogens. You don't have to know. You could have an amazing, perfect, smooth sailing year, and adaptogens would still be beneficial for you, because then they would be able to focus on being proactive in helping build the body and building up its resiliency, helping support longevity. Or you could have, like last year, all kinds of bizarre things coming out of right field at us, and the body is being able to adapt and deal with what's being thrown out because of adaptogens. So all these products we're looking at in this webinar will have adaptogens in them, and that's one of the reasons that I love these products so much. So adaptogens, word of the year. So Solle Vital is one of the 4 signature drinks, and I actually look at it as a foundational drink for me. I use it in virtually every single program that I start someone on. Is one of my number 1 places to recommend that people start, because Vital, it literally is vital to the system. Between doing things like helping to detox the system, because the chlorophyll that's in it is loaded with chlorophyll. It's a very nice, strong chlorophyll from 4 different sources. Because it is in the little packages, like you saw Sam show, it is not oxygenated, or, you're putting it back into solution immediately when you mix in the water. So it's much more powerful than any chlorophyll I've ever used. That chlorophyll is going to be alkalizing. That again, this also helps to balance in my research that I've done and found with people, helping to balance out the sodium and potassium levels, which allows the cells to start getting nutrition in and help take the garbage out. Therefore, working at that foundation level, helping everything to get into the system. Because of the minerals that are in this product and the fact of what I talked about with it helping basically stop what I call a Mexican standoff, it does help those the body to start to get oxygenation. The chlorophyll helps with that as well. I've had many people reach out to me after their first time, maybe or first couple days of taking this product, asking why in the world they have so much energy. And part of it has to do with the oxygen now getting up, and they can think better too. Balancing the adaptogens in this product, and there are 6 in it, does help that body to be even more resilient at dealing with what's thrown at it. This is the product that one of the products that we started with and have been taking every day since we got the products when the company first sent out their very first shipment. And this product is one of the things that caused such a change in my husband, Troy, that we had people literally stopping him, going down the street and asking him what was different because they could see such a difference. And so it helps people all over with their mood, help be able to deal with stress better. It is just an amazing product. And the adaptogens do also help you to maintain your energy levels throughout the day. So Vital, you know, I've just seen so many things help balance with that. I've seen it help people support with their kidneys. I've seen it help bring out old toxins out of the system that have been there for very long periods of time. It is just a basic foundational product. It is my go-to. And we will be looking at 4 different products. Sometimes you have people that can't take capsules and they prefer drinks. Well, these are simple. You mix it in with the water, drink it. It's easy to do, great for kids, and just very simple and easy to use. So now we're going to hear what Laura has to say about how she uses these 4 products.
Hello, hi. So I was asked to jump on and talk about the 4 drinks and why I love them and how I think they work for me. I really love the Cinnamate right now. It's my absolute favorite. I have recently given up caffeine, which was very hard for me, in my mind anyway. And we are huge coffee drinkers in our house. And a couple of my kids have actually been baristas. But I decided to give up caffeine to be a little bit healthier. And the crazy thing was, so instead of the caffeine, the coffee in the morning, I now have my Cinnamate. And I was really concerned that I was going to have a reaction, bad headaches, and all of that for a little while, getting off the caffeine. That has not happened. I didn't have any adverse effects to not taking caffeine because I was on the Cinnamate. And I love Cinnamate. It is my absolute favorite. It really helps me with focus. It helps me with energy. It helps me with all of those things. And so now I do one in the morning when I wake up, and I do one at 2 in the afternoon to help me with my blood sugar. And I now love it with putting just a little scoop of Infatuate in that. And it really does help with blood sugar. It helps me feel satiated. It just helps with my appetite and all of that. It's fantastic. And I use the Vital and the Excel, and those I use usually around lunchtime. I love the Vital, and I've noticed such a difference in terms of just because of all the adaptogens in it, in terms of my mood, the way I address the world, and just getting all of those great herbs and vitamins in my system. The Excel I love, and what I noticed about that is the Excel really helps me with my allergies, and it helps me with my sinuses. And that has been an ongoing issue for me. Absolutely helps with all of that. I cannot tell you the last time I've been sick or the last time I've even had a cold. There was a brief few weeks ago where I thought I was getting a sore throat, and I just upped my Vital and my Excel and my Cinnamate and really all of the drinks. And that feeling of getting sick went away very quickly. And sometimes I have trouble sleeping, and so I love the Renew. And I take the Renew at night before I go to bed, sometimes after dinner, before 9 o'clock. And that absolutely kind of just, I don't know, it kind of just sets me in a place where I know it's time to unwind. I know it's time to be calm, stop doing chores or whatever it is that I'm working on, and just get ready for bed. And so I love the Renew for that reason too. So, and I do feel like I am so much healthier and so much better mentally because I drink my drinks, because I take Soul Naturals. It has been just a game changer for me and my whole family. And so, Greg, I'm just so thankful for Soul. So thank you so much.
So as you see, the Cinnamate right here featured is what Laura was using to help work with dealing with coffee and those type of cravings. But because it balances blood sugar, it's also outstanding this time of year in particular, as we're coming off holiday food. A lot of people who normally don't eat sweets or even, dairy, all kinds of different things that they normally wouldn't have in their diet. Now the body's going to notice that it's not there, and it's kind of hard to change those habits back. And the Cinnamate is excellent for working with those cravings. Now, Cinnamate does have cinnamon in it that helps with maintaining blood sugar levels, but also has banaba in it, which is in Nepal. Both of those help with balancing blood sugar as well. In fact, this product has been so effective at it that even people, clients that I have that are using, dealing with insulin or taking that type of medication, I'm always telling them, make certain you continue to check your blood sugar and monitor your blood sugar numbers, because this is very effective, and they often have to talk to the doctor about adjusting the medication. So very effective at helping no matter where you're at. Those afternoon tired's, those, maybe eating something you shouldn't and trying to get that sugars normalized in your body, Cinnamate is just excellent for that. Again, talking about craving control, because of the yerba mate that's in it, it is loaded with vitamins and minerals and amino acids. People actually don't realize how loaded of a plant that is. And it does. It just gives you these amazing components in the plant form. And that's something else I want you to think about. People, like question sometimes how they should be taking their minerals and whether or not there's enough there in a plant. Well, one reason it works so effectively in this form is the plant has already pulled them up out of the ground and in effect digested them or processed them and put them into the plant. That makes it much easier for us to assimilate because it's already gone through a step of the process. That makes it just so easy to assimilate. And that's why we have seen such amazing differences with people, even though they can't look at it and go, oh, there's X amount of magnesium or calcium or potassium, selenium, any of these types of things in there. It has to do with the format that they're in. Stamina. When you keep your blood sugar balanced, and when you have a form of caffeine like this, which is in its whole, and it's not really caffeine, it's a form of it, that it is in its, got all its checks and balances, it does not cause the same issues. Like I have, can't use, regular caffeine. I've never been a coffee drinker. It's just too hard on my adrenals. Anything like that, it just will push me under the edge and under the edge or over the edge. Anyhow, it's just not a good plan for me. But in this format, I have no issues whatsoever. Digestive energy. It not only helps to support the liver, which is going to help the digestion, which is going to help the bowels more regular, because we're working with the pancreas, because we're just working with getting those, the digestion flowing. It is going to impact the entire digestive tract. And keep in mind, it's very hard to, in like 1 or 2 minutes, try and say the, there's so many things that these 4 products do that we're looking at otherwise. Trying to take the highlights, I always feel like I'm kind of doing it a disservice or injustice. The neat thing is when we use all 4 of these, we're really getting a nice balance, foundation, and a simple process to get them in. Cinnamate also is very good at helping to support the immune system. And keep in mind too that all adaptogens also are immunomodulatory, which means if the immune system's overactive, it scales it back. If it's underactive, it brings it up. So lots of times when we have people maybe that have been around someone sick or they're just feeling a little under the weather, they will take an extra Cinnamate because it does have particular elements added to it as well, like the Thymus vulgaris, which has some natural antiviral properties in it as well, along with cinnamon does too. And that just gives you that little extra boost to help support and help you just skate through. And like Laura said, just getting ill is just, in fact, there was, well, Micah, she's, some of you have seen and heard her on here, and she'll be on here a little bit later. She asked me about 2 or 3 years ago, she's like, Valerie, do you ever get sick? Because I just don't think I've ever seen you sick. Well, part of the thing is I notice immediately when my body's off. And those of you who've worked with me a while know that I teach, listen to your body. It will give you the information and then respond. So if I felt a little off, I immediately got on it, and therefore I didn't crash, and people didn't see me in that other way, because I could turn something around in a couple hours. So speaking of that, here we have Micah. Let's hear what she has to say. She took a real quick minute and sent me this, and she's had quite a day, you'll hear.
Good evening, Soul Friends. I just wanted to touch base with everybody and let everybody know kind of how I use all 4 drink products in my life. So, for instance, this morning, my son woke up at 3:30. I have been up since then. I don't know why he keeps waking up so early, but so I've actually had 2 vitals today to give me a little bit of energy. I had a cinnamate in the middle of the day to kind of get me through the midday slump, and that always helps me when I'm kind of craving some sugary foods in the middle of the day. I take Renew at the end of the day to help me unwind and de-stress and get a good night's sleep. I also love it to get a little bit of a vitamin C boost. And I also take the XL to actually help me regulate my hormones. And I take the Soul Maca XD as well to do the same thing. So I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. And
So it is pretty impressive. Here she's been up since 3:30. She actually sent me this about an hour ago because she'd been going nonstop in her, I'm trying to remember, I think Parker's 3 or 4. Anyhow, got up at 3:30. She's been up and running. And and that's one of the neat things. Again, she was listening to her body, realized what she needed to keep going, and she did it. So Excel. So Excel was a product that we initially got a year or 2 into having, we had the Vital and the Cinnamate for a year or 2 before we got the Excel. And for me, when I first got the Excel and took my first dosage of it, it was like literally the next level of my brain lit up. It so opened up and connected with that. It was phenomenal. The other thing it did for me is I was, at that point, 49 and a half, a little over 49, had just started going in, was going into menopause. My body thought it'd be fun. Hey, let's have a hardcore, 7 to 10 day cycle, and let's do it every 2 weeks. And so and that only happened for a month or 2, got the Excel, and that was the last time that I cycled. And I immediately just shifted all the rest of the way over to menopause, and I've not had any issues with hot flashes. I've not had the issues with any breakthrough bleeding. My body just shifted over and was done. So Excel is very good for helping to regulate the hormones. The clarifying right here is where I felt it in the mind for me. It also has got bilberries in it. That's outstanding for the eyes, along with eye bright. It helps with the respiratory, circulatory. It's another one of the products, along with the Vital, helps support people with allergies as well. It does have the antioxidant properties. Kupuasu, which is in the chocolate family, does, but doesn't have the caffeine like chocolate. It is loaded with amino acids, antioxidants, and so it is another outstanding product to help keep the body from having the impact from environmental stresses or foods or whatever we've got that we're being around during the day. It does help with alertness. I have many times I will take this earlier in the day because I enjoy how it helps me with thinking. And a lot of you know that I have a photographic memory, but we still got to feed that, make certain that that recalls everything's where it should be. And Excel has just been outstanding for me. That's another thing I haven't dealt with, what a lot of people deal with, what they call like a menopausal type brain, and they start changing how their thinking gets impacted. Excel's been helpful for me with that. And Excel is very good at supporting libido. So helping with the sex drive, which does change at different times of people's lives. But the endocrine system in general is the way it's supporting it. It is coming through with the different macas that are in there. And what we need to remember too is, for those that are concerned, what about my prepubescent or my child that's going through puberty? Is that going to put that libido off the charts? No, because adaptogens help bring something into the normal range. So if anything, if it is out of balance and overactive, it scales it back to bring it to and normalize it for what it should be for where they're at in life. Maca is also outstanding for strengthening the bones. A lot of my women are always asking as they age, what's a good way to help support and prevent osteo issues or bone issues. Macas are an outstanding, the red maca in particular, because of its impact that it has on strengthening bones. And now finally, we're going to hear from Ashley Brennan and how she uses the 4 drinks.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Val. Thanks so much for asking me to share with you a little bit about the 4 drinks. So I have these 4 little pretty packets in front of me. I've been taking the Solle drinks for years now, and when I first started, I didn't realize the side benefits that I would get. I just started drinking these drinks because I knew it was good nutrition for my body and my brain. But the little green packet, Vital, the biggest game changer for me has been my immune system. I start my day with Vital. So I used to go to the doctor all of the time, get sinus infections, was always sick, just, monthly. And I thought that was a normal thing and now I'm so excited because I get to go see the doctor on my terms, which I'm so thankful for that today. So game changer, this is a daily drink for me. And it just feels amazing. I feel like I have a lot of life inside of me when I do my Vital. The Excel, it just helps me feel mentally clear. I love to take it before a workout or after a workout. And it's yummy on just shaken on ice and water as kind of a refreshing drink during the day. So this has also gotten me more towards water and drinks that are beneficial for my body versus others that are not. Cinemate, this is a hug and a mug. So I used to get really tired, crashes up and down, and now I have all day sustainable energy. Love it, hot or cold. And then Renew, this is my favorite drink before bedtime. I sleep so soundly. I wake up refreshed, don't have to hit the alarm clock, and I'm ready to go. And it's just very comforting. So I look forward to hearing your stories. Thanks again, Val. Have a good night.
So like Ashley said, Renew, many people are familiar with how well it works with helping people sleep and get that restful sleep. They really depend on it. So what we want to think of, though, that Renew does is it allows our body to go into a restorative mode. So whether that's sleeping, or for some people, we're going to use it during the day, actually mixed with Vital, because it helps to calm the central nervous system in a different way for people with past adrenal issues. It also is outstanding, like we said, with a sleep aid and helping to calm and quiet that mind. I've also used it for balancing emotions. This really works well for people in pregnancy, when they're pregnant as well, or right after giving birth, to help bring the body back into balance very quickly. And then again, rejuvenating. And so it's kind of, sometimes it just kind of slides under the radar, I think, and people don't realize the full benefits of what this product does. And again, looking at its restorative value and helping the body to repair, to focus, like it says here, and get ready for the next thing that's going to be thrown at it. I tell you, these 4 drinks, and this one, I think it's an unsung hero as to how much it just comes in and helps people with dealing with what life has thrown at it, so it doesn't knock us down to where we can't get back up again. And so now I'd like to turn it over to Greg here for a minute and let him share a little bit about his thoughts. And Greg, do you need me to share the screen with you?
No, thanks. Thanks, Valerie, and hello, everyone. And thanks to all those who shared and taught us. I loved every one of those presentations. I sit here, I do take notes, my little Post-it notes. I scribble. And I hope I can share something, because Valerie earlier just asked me to think about the forward thinking package in particular. I don't know if you remember, that was what you wrote, which contains all 4 of the drinks, but it's 2 of each box.
Oh,
is the forward thinking. So I don't know if you meant to do that, but I love it. I actually love the chance to tell you about it, because it is the 4 drinks. It's a unique package because it's 2 of each, but it's a much deeper discount than there's a discount with buying 1 of each. And honestly, I can't remember. Maybe one of you on tonight knows the discount. I'd have to go look at it when you get the 2 of each. So I'm going to tell you 5 reasons because they apply, but my 5 reasons are why we formed this particular package, the forward thinking package. So that was serendipity, Val, if you didn't mean to tell me that particular one, because I think it absolutely goes right with what we're talking about tonight in balanced nutrition with these 4 drinks. So I'll tell you 5 reasons why we put them in a special package with 2 of the small boxes in each of the 4 drinks. The first I would entitle, the first reason is to give myself a new pathway. Okay, to create, maybe a better way to put it is to create a new pathway. Because there's so much nutrition in them, and like Valerie said, it's hard to get into details because you feel like you're doing a disservice not mentioning some, leaving some out. But all 4 of those, everyone's done such a great job of talking about some of their uniquenesses, and when those all 4 each are part of our daily nutrition, and in this particular package where you're getting 2 of each, so that's going to last you 2 months, 8 weeks. If you took all four every day, that is long enough and at a dose that's significant enough to start to create some new pathways. And I'll just leave it at that. I mean, I listen to the way Valerie teaches, and that's, you mentioned 3 or 4 things that made me think of that today. So there's a reason for, I mean, you're going to save more money too. So, why might I invest a little more? Well, I'll save more. But I'm giving the 5 reasons why we did it. One is to create a new path, even if I'm using all of it myself. The second reason was honestly about the buddy system. It was thinking 1 set is for me and 1 set is for 1 more person. So whether I'm not married and I have a roommate, or I'm at home and it's my sister or my brother, or it's my spouse, whoever the other person, or it might be one of my children, but just someone that I share kind of what I've heard tonight with them. And we both just decide, we're going to do this together for a month. We're going to do 30 days. We're going to do all 4 of these. And let's just, support each other. That really was one of the reasons why we formed the forward thinking package, was 2 sets, a buddy. The third reason was purely about sharing. The third reason was to help someone. And it was thinking, I guess it kind of goes with the reason number 2, but in this case, it wasn't so much somebody that I'm like my spouse or that I'm living with, as much as I'm going to keep one and I'm going to start forming a soul business where I take on a role of mentor. I'll start with where I'm at. It might just be I'm sharing my own experience. And I've got these 2 sets now. One of them I'm going to keep using and one I'm going to sell. I'm actually going to sell it to somebody else. And so I'm going to help someone change their life, but start my soul business. That was the third thinking on the forward thinking package. The 4th reason was, the way I write it down, is to form a habit. Again, this is a personal take on it. I'm going to use all of it, both boxes for myself, and I'm going to stretch it out to 2 months, kind of like reason number 1, a new pathway. But the reason for it was not just doing one set. I'm committing to buying 2 sets, and the company rewards that with additional savings. And I get rewarded because in 60 days, I mean, Val could probably tell us statistics. I'm fascinated when I see these various statistics about when you do something daily, at what intervals habits start to form and how strong they become. I know there's a lot of research there. In this case, you're actually quadrupling, in my view, in one sense, that habit formation, because you're actually, if you take them separately, it might be 4 times in a day. 4, 4, 4, 4. And so my body gets a lot of touches, nutritional touches. And so the habits, it sees a bigger difference and starts to call for that drink. And my odds of creating a habit go up because I'm kind of doubling my commitment with the forward thinking. So that was the other reason. It was really that idea of forming a habit because I know it'll be a good habit for me. And the last reason, like somewhat related to all of them, reason number 5 is daily is the key for change. Daily nutrition is the key. Whatever we're doing, and we got to listen to our body like Val says. I think that listening comes in with these 4 drinks to how I combine them or how I do them separate. What amounts, because I might sip them throughout an afternoon. I've talked to lots of people who've done that. They don't just drink them down. I might do Vital and Excel together. Like Val said, I might do Renew and Vital together. There's so many combinations. I listen to my body on how and when. But the most important, well, I guess it's just as important to listen to our body. Maybe that's the most important thing. But right there with it would be that it be daily, that I'm constantly feeding. So those are my 5 reasons for why we did forward thinking and why would we put together such a package. I will say I was just checking it, and it's consistently in the top 4 or 5 packages. So a lot of people do that. They take advantage of the savings. And if they're doing any of those 5 things, it's all good. So back to you, Val.
Perfect, Greg. Thank you. And yes, that's one reason I like having people get the extra has to do with consistency. Plus at 3 months, they've had 75% of their red blood cells have changed out, and they're really getting the opportunity to start to affect noticeable change, and change that will begin to impact the DNA. And every 7 years, our entire body rebuilds itself. So as we can get those habits established, especially something simple like this, which is why I wanted to present this at the beginning of the year, because change can start anywhere, and starting with simple is usually the best way for people to follow through. So you nailed it. It was perfect, Greg, because the big question I get from people is, what time? You know what? In the years that I've been taking Solle, it has changed for me. And it has changed because of listening to my body. And there's lots of different methodologies out there. And the body, as it heals, my belief is it will change what it's calling for us, or as Sam says, what it's requesting. Initially, my body wanted lots of the Vital. And so I would take sometimes as many as 5 a day. That only lasts for about 30 days, and then it shifted. And then I went through a period where I was wanting lots of Excel, and then the Renew, and then I would use all 4 at a time. And right now, the way my body is working is I do a Cinnamate first thing in the morning mixed with an Infatuate, and then I have a Vital, and then I do Excel, and then in the evening I do a half of, Troy and I split a Cinnamate Renew mix, so we each get a half of that. And we do that about half an hour before bed. That's where it is right now. But it has fluctuated a lot. When Troy was going through everything and being sick, his body, we needed to use lots and lots of the Vital and Renew to help bring him through that. And right now, we're using Vital, Cinnamate, and Excel with him, mixed together, and then Renew and Vital in the evening. But it's about listening to your body. It will guide you. If you don't feel like you can hear it or know, then pick a time period that works for you. Some people look at it as doing Excel when they first get up, kind of turn on the brain, then they'll do a Vital, and then they'll do Cinnamate mid-afternoon, and then Renew in the evening. You'll know. After a while, you'll start getting the messages. That's one thing I see consistently with people using these products, is they start to hear their body talking to them and guiding them. So there is the forward thinking package and there's the top 4 package. You're going to start where works for you. The important thing is we're talking about these 4 products, getting them, and there's also, you can get them in 100 count boxes as well. And I just know that these are products that we just make certain we don't go without because they've been that major for us. So I thought this was kind of a good quote for us with looking at ECG readout here. It says, health is much more dependent on our habits and nutrition than medicine. And I do believe that. It is about how we support our foundation. It is about what we're feeding it on a regular basis and the habit that we get into by feeding it. That is why in fact, I talked with a new person not that long ago out of Baltimore, and we started with the 100 count boxes because we knew that no matter what, we wanted to make certain that for those first 3 months, they did not have any opportunity where we had to deal with anything that might happen with shipping or anything, that they always had enough product on hand because it was creating a new habit. And we knew that if there was no break in that habit, that we had a better chance of making the change that they desired. Next week, we are going to be looking at colds and flu and the Solle difference and the approach and multiple different approaches that people take to dealing with the normal everyday cold and flu that goes around and how they can be prepared for that.